socialism with American characteristics. What do you envision that being like, and how do you distinguish that? Okay, let's maybe take one step back and say, okay, what are some core tenets of, say, Russian socialism, Chinese socialism, and how would American socialism be distinguished from that? As it, have they learned something and they would operate it differently, for example?
Well, I think the point is that for socialism to ever come to America, it would have to be coming as the result of millions of Americans becoming politically active, uh, wanting that socialism and fighting for it. And that in and of itself would make it unique. It would be to address the needs, desires, and aspirations of those millions of Americans who come into motion politically and force that kind of socialism to exist. And that would be different than what the Russian mass movement created when they overthrew the Tsar and established the Soviet Union. And that would be quite different than what the Chinese Communist Party, what they created. In China, it was largely the demand of redistributing land to the peasants, and it was the fight against the Japanese invaders that laid the basis for the socialist revolution. In Russia, it was opposition to World War I and the feeling that, the World War I was not a good war. The peasants needed land, people needed food, and they needed to sign a peace treaty and get out of World War I. I don't know what it will be in the United States, but we're already seeing, working people in the United States very angry about the fact they don't have the right to see a doctor when they're sick and they don't have Medicare for all. We're seeing, anger about the crumbling infrastructure in the country, and that there will be issues, that polarize the American people, that will bring millions of American people into motion to kind of build the kind of socialism that they would want. And this is a really important point because socialism, often when I do interviews like this, people want me to play Sim City. You ever play Sim City? And they want me to draw up the blue point. But the whole point of, this very important book, Socialism, Utopian and Scientific by Frederick Engels, is that what makes Marxism different than utopian socialism is the understanding that socialism comes about as a result of struggles and contradictions, and that it's not one guy sitting there and saying, well, here's my blueprint. Do you like it? Do you like it? Okay, let's do it. That's not how it's going to be. It's going to be the result of millions of people in motion, building the apparatus with their mass democratic movement that lays the basis for the new society.